What is going on, everybody? It's Juggalo Gaming. I'm Jonathan80315, and welcome back to Gemcraft Frostborn Wrath Need to Know series. This is the advanced section. This is where we're getting into everything that you need to know for higher wizard levels. Alright, the first thing we're going to be covering is the in-game mods today. Now, I mentioned this in the last video, but down at the very bottom of the achievements list, you have the hidden mod keys. These are the achievements that give you the mod keys, which look like gem symbols. Like, there's a grade 1, I think that one's a grade 9, grade 2, grade 3, so you get the point. And you put them in down at the very bottom of the map. You can see the gems listed here. You know, grade 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was a grade 8. you get the point. And they unlock these up here. These are the mods. Horizontally flipped fields just flips the fields. Vertically flipped fields flips it vertically. Monster Egg Hunt adds monster eggs. Wealthy Monsters increases your drops. Omni Beacons gives every beacon this the Omni effect, which is pretty much all the beacon effects in one beacon. Green Blood makes the blood green. Explosive Orblets means your Orblets will now explode and kill enemies when you kill a monster that has one. Spell Preparation automatically puts everything to have charges at the beginning of the map. Wasp Field Shells makes your barrage shells also have gem wasps. Gray Trees makes the trees gray. Heavy Weather makes the weather effects more visible. Well, a lot stronger, I should say. And Deep Learning Gems makes gems promote faster. The Bloodbound effect, basically. That makes it even stronger. Okay. And if you need to know how to put the codes together to put in the codes, I do have a video on that. But also, there is a hint at the main menu of the game. If you're at the main menu, you see where it says Start Game and Exit here? If you highlight over credits, it shows you a hint of how to string the codes together. Like I said though, I also have a guide on that. It's an older video, probably doesn't sound as good or as crisp or as clear as what these videos do, but I do have a video. And then there's multiple other YouTubers that have already done videos on that. Next, if you would like to copy a game save to test a couple things, say you're recording everything and you're like, okay, well, I don't know exactly what I want to do today, but I want to try this out. You could technically copy your save file, put it in a different slot, and test out before you record. And if you need to know how to do that, if you at the load game screen here, if you go down to the bottom right, you can highlight over the lost saved games and it'll tell you where to find your saved files, which is under C drive username app data roaming GCFW local store. Mind you, when it comes up, it'll say save game slot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. They are as follows. 1 is this one here, 2, 3, 4, 5 is over here, 6, 7, and 8 at the bottom right. Alright, start game, hit continue on there. Alright, now that we went over the saved game file location and the mods, now we're at endgame. Well, what's the best thing to do at endgame? Honestly, my honest opinion for everybody to do is to build up your talismans first. They're really going to help out. Now, if you're at a lower wizard level and you don't think you can handle getting level 100 talismans the way I do on a couple of my videos, well, older videos I've done, go to lower fields and just crank them up as high as you can. Make sure you increase the drop rarity range and start getting level 60s, 70s, and 80s. Honestly, if you follow my Steam guide, which is going to be linked in all 3 of these videos, you'll see some high-level marked talisman fragments in wizard stashes, and you'll know what stashes they're in. You can add 10 to them to increase them even further, and you can have a decent head start on talismans. Now, if you really want to farm talismans, I definitely suggest A1. One, because of the whole beacon thing, but also there's only 90 waves, and there's 90 waves in journey mode, which is a decent amount. And you get a lot of talismans on this. At least I feel like you get a lot. You're guaranteed to get like 2 or 3 grade 100s almost every run if you set up at least close to what I do, which is my XP record traits, which are these ones here. If you cannot do this, try lowering them. Now, not everybody plays the same way. Alright, but this will give me anywhere from grade 75 at the lowest to grade 100. But I strongly recommend you do that to increase your talismans. They are very, very important. Okay. Now we're going to talk about the biggest thing to increase level. Mana farming. Mana farming, mana farming, mana farming. Yeah. So these are my current settings. Well, that's not bad. That's a 13 times multiplier. Alright, let's go in. This is very different. When you are talking about endgame mana farms, the best thing you want to do is get as far as you can, get your gems up as high as possible, and I'll go over step by step of how to do this. And then the last couple waves, because once you get to a certain point, you're not going to be able to really make enough mana to upgrade any further. You're going to start stagnating and not being able to progress. Then at that point, you're going to start decreasing your enraging gem, which is okay. But you also want to keep a very strong enraging gem off to the side, even though you're decreasing your main one. You're going to want a very strong enraging gem, because the most XP you get is in the last 10 or 15 to 10 levels or waves that you do. These will get you the most XP. So once you get down to the last couple you don't think you can handle anymore, crank up that enraging all the way. Put the highest gem you possibly can in there. Send the rest of the waves and use the shrines to kill them high tier monsters. To do this, you're also going to want a gem bomb with a bleeding gem to make all of them bleed, as I brought up in the last episode. To use the bleed effect in the gem bomb range to make every monster bleed on screen. And until you get to endgame, you really don't want to use the shrines, because the more you use them, the longer they take to reload. Okay. H2 is one of the best ones because it has 2 shrines that cover pretty much majority of every path. This is a very good one to use. You're going to want to really increase your mana gain as much as you can. You're going to want a lantern to slow. What you can. And I would say probably at my current level, I can do quite a lot here. But let's put up grade 12s. Yeah, we'll go grade 11s. And for our lanterns, we'll just put some grade 8s in there. We want them to be least affected. And of course, I want some extra help on gaining mana pretty early here. Alright, that covers that. Now we're going to want to gem bomb these pretty strong here. I'm going to create a grade 14 in there to start out with. And we're going to go ahead, since I have my preloaded spells, put barrage on these traps. Are they getting through? Yeah, they're getting through. In fact, I might have did a little too much, but that's okay. I haven't done this in a while, so bear with me. I'm going to put a grade 19 crit gem here. I'm going to put a 4 on it for right now. And go ahead here and get this ready to go too. That actually might kill quite a bit. Alright. I'm gonna turn down my actual in-game volume, or not my in-game volume, but my actual sound. Let's see here. 6. I got 6 on you. I need 6 on you. Need a 6 on you. I need 6 on them too. Eventually. Alright, well. I got beacon spawning. I kind of forgot about that. I need to get rid of them. So let's go ahead here and make a tower here. Alright. Put that over here. And at this point, before the 10 waves, you honestly want to go ahead and make sure nothing had beacons don't have a spawnable space. You can do that by kind of doing what I'm doing and just make lines if you have the mana possible to do that. But you want to go through and block off any spawnable spot. I'm going to do this relatively quickly. As quick as I can, at least. Alright, that's enough for going that way. We'll go this way now. Just faster. Alright. So we're getting somewhere real quick. Oh, let's see here, right there. And it don't have to be pretty, but just try to do as best you can to block every spawnable space. It's best to have it kind of an idea of how you want to place everything down beforehand, so you don't have to do stuff like that and waste walls. I think that's about every spawnable space. Oh, missed one in there. Probably this one here too. Just spawn right here. Alright, yeah, that should be good. So now you have something like that. And I put that in a tower, not an amp. I didn't want you to fire. Please stop. Alright. Next. Like I said, the main portion of this is to get as high as you can. That's now killing. Now that these are killing, we need to upgrade our mana gem, and then we'll get the rest ready to go. Our raging gem. There we go. Hopefully that'll be good. $26. I think 26 should be good right now. Oh, look, I missed a couple spots, but it's not too bad. Just a couple. I feel like I still missed the one. Overall, not bad. Alright. That's 26 across the board. Alright. And I'm doing this because I want to explain a couple different things at higher levels. $15 sounds good for them. All right. I might need to increase it. You know what? Just in case, let's go ahead and increase that. Oh, you can see this one got through. That's because this had the resocket. And don't mind that. It's fine if one or two get through. Not the end of the world. I mean, we're making quite a good bit of XP here, but you know we're close to what my maximum is. Ah, another beacon spawn right there. You know what? That's fine. We can let that beacon be. We haven't hit our objective. And basically my objective is to get to a certain amount of mana. Here we go. Alright. So, I mentioned it earlier, how there is what I call E levels. Basically, this just shortens the numbers so you know exactly how much mana you have here. So, I'm going to pull up a calculator real quick, put it in standard, because I'm going to show how I get to it. Alright, so once you pull up a calculator, you want to put it in scientific mode. This will give you the degrees in FE and all this stuff here. So, once you get to this point where you have monsters like these giants here that are 6.962 E12, and you want to make sure you're doing enough damage, right? So you're looking at your kill gem here, and that does, well, I usually just go off the maximum, so 224 million, 181,000, and 294. And that is multiplied by 11 million, 915,000, 901. That gives you this number. Could this number beat these giants here that are 4.28 E12? Well, if you hit the FE, that changes it to the E ranking. This is a 2.671 E15. Well, that beats out that, definitely. And basically, you just click E and F to swap it back. Let's say you want to do the calculations in a reverse format. So if you know the E12 number, so that, okay, how much damage is that? That's a 4.028 E12. So you put 4.028, right? 4.028, and then you hit experience, or EXP, and put 12. There it is. And then you can hit EF if you want to swap it. Now, how do I look at that number and know how big that number actually is? Well, say we have this number here, but in number format, which, say you want to know how much this would be in number format without using the calculator, like just looking at it in your head, how would you do that? Right? Let me pull up the calculator again because I closed it apparently. Alright, so the way you look at this, okay, maybe I didn't close it, is it's 4.028. So 4 is standard. Now, after this decimal, you have 12 spots. So 0 to 8 counts as some of them spots, right? So 0 to 8. Alright, and now you have E12. So this is 1, 2, 3. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's that number written out. That number is the same as that number. Basically, from that decimal point, you have 12 spots behind it. If it was the E15, you have 15 spots behind it. 16 spots, depending on the E. The E number is just how many more digits are after that, basically. After the decimal point. So, if I hit EF on there, you can see that that is, yes, 4.028 E12, which is what that is. Alright, and that covers E rankings. well, how to calculate E rankings and damage and everything. I know this is doing about E15 points of damage. Currently, this could be much higher if I keep going and building up my mana farm and building this up to the point where I could probably go 500 some waves, and then eventually when I can't make it anymore and can't upgrade these anymore because they're just way too much more mana than what I have, then I can send the rest of the waves with a very high enraging gem, as high as I can make it, and use the shrines to kill every monster. Now, I'm also going to need to gem bomb. You can see here that when I gem bomb, all the monsters within that range got the bleed effect. Now, so this is at the end of the game, right? Pretend this is the end of the game. These are the last couple monsters. A shrine won't affect these because they're just so strong, because you gem bomb them with a grade 40, 50 plus. But killing them gets so much XP. Right? Use the bleed, gem bomb, give them all bleed, then use the shrine. Remember, bleed increases the damage from all sources. This means shrines, which get an additional, depending on how many gems you have on the battlefield, it calculates every gem on the battlefield, and that's how much damage it puts out, and it multiplies it. Bleed amplifies that even further. That is the best way to get huge experience. And if you need an example of this, over on YouTube, bear with me, I'm going to pull up his video. There's a great video that I was just watching. Alright, let me see here. I clicked on it recently, so it should be in my history here pretty early on. Here it is. Perfect. Let me make sure I paused. Awesome. This video right here. Let me pull it over more. This is the video. If you need to know more on what I'm talking about with hitting them with a bleed at the end with a very high enragement, hitting them with the bleed and then using shrines to kill, this is the video to watch. From Castlegate. Go ahead, like his video, subscribe to him. The video is 18,000 quadrillion XP on H2. This guy is a mastermind. I don't know if he came up with this strategy, but he's the first video that I've seen actually talk about the strategy in a clear light. So definitely check out Castlegate, the 18 quadrillion XP H2 endurance run. It is an amazing video. It's a very long video. It's an hour. How long is this video? An hour and a half long video, but it's definitely well worth it. Anyways, that being said, that ends this series. I went over pretty much everything I could think of, and I showed off how to calculate the high amounts of XPs and the high numbers that your monsters are going to get, the high amounts of damage you're going to get, because eventually you get to the point where you're multiplying E rankings with E rankings to figure out, okay, how much damage can I do? I guess there's a lot of damage. Not to mention they're taking 484% more damage with this bleed effect, which only gets higher, by the way. And I could go at this for a while, to be honest, and actually do a very... Hey, look, there's an apparition. As you can see here, they really aren't... They don't do anything. Does not attack, just flies over obstacles. but they are worth a lot of mana. No, not a lot compared to me, but, you know, for normal games, definitely they're worth killing. And now this is actually killing them. This bleed in it is just killing them. You get the point. I'm not going to run this through the rest of the way. I'm already at 319 million and I'm only at 38, wave 38. And if I keep going at this will just be an extremely long video. I'd have to keep upgrading this until I'm like, I believe my highest grades I made were like grade 40s almost now, which is insane. Obviously that's sitting at 32 already. Upgrading these is going to increase the amount of mana, which is going to allow me to increase these even further. And then it's just getting to the end. Gem bombing with bleeds and killing them off with the shrines, because my kill gems, whether it be in a tower or in a trap, just can't handle the amounts of armor, hit points that these guys have, you know, at the very end. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this whole series and understand how to play Gemcraft Frostborn Wrath a lot better than what you originally had in mind. And don't worry, because it is repetitive, yet you just got to keep working at it, and eventually you'll make more XP, more and more and more, and get to extremely high wizard levels like mine, which is 25,000. The Castlegate guy, he's way over that. I think when he did that video, he's like 340 some thousand wizard level. Like, insane. The only thing I didn't show you are the stats screens. This shows you your basic stats, as you can see here. I've spent up to E17 worth on mana on gems. Most of them with mana leech. The next was crit. Poison be after that. Bleed is honestly more than that. I haven't spent that much on slowing or armor tearing, at least. Well, armor tearing a little bit, but overall, these are my current stats. Stormlings, Reavers, Giants, Apparitions, Spectres, Spires, Shadows, Guardians, which I talked about, which are unique. Obviously, I've only killed 9 of them. Wraiths, Wizard Hunters, Wall Breakers, I've only killed 22 of them. They're another unique, they're only on certain maps. Swarm Queen, I've killed the Swarm Queen 4 times. That's a unique, it's only on one map. Then you have the Marked Monsters, which is what I call the Possessed, but the Possessed are actually the black monsters, or is that Twisted? Either way, they're the 3 types there, the Marked, the Twisted, the Possessed. Just know to watch out for the Marked Monsters that have the banishment percentage. It tells me how tombs I've raided, beacons I've destroyed, so on and so forth. These are my overall stats of the game. Now if I look at Endurance XP and I sort the fields by XP amounts, you can see here that U3, H2, J2, L3, and J4 are up into the E rankings of EXP. These are the maps that have shrines. No joke. It has a shrine. That one does not have a shrine. Was it J2? Yeah, J2 has a shrine. V2 has a shrine, which actually I could get a much higher level on that one, because that's a shrine I haven't done yet. Let's see here. Where is... Yes, U3 has a shrine. And I can tell just by looking at the map, it's that light brownish color that you can see there, the square light brown. They're the maps with shrines. If it has like the darker red, that's Monster Nest. Like darker brown, I guess. Blacks are tombs. You eventually get used to how to look at the map and see what's on the map just by looking at it. Anyways, I went into a little bit more of details there. But just know the maps that have shrines, and on my Excel sheet that I have on my guide, for what's in every wizard stash, I also put how many shrines are on what maps. So V2 has 1 shrine, U3 has 1 shrine, R4 has a shrine, N3 has a shrine, L3 has a shrine, M4 has a shrine, J2 has a shrine, J4 has a shrine, H2 has 2 shrines, B4 has a shrine, and that's it. There are the shrine maps. But I thank everybody for watching this series, and just know that my guide is linked in the description, which will tell you what the map and field unlocks are for every map, what is in every wizard stash, and if there's a shrine on that map. So feel free to look at my guide and use it as kind of a walkthrough to figure out what stashes you need to open and what ones you kind of skip, what talismans you should go for depending on what drops you've gotten so far, so on and so forth. But thank you all for watching this series. I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and I will see you in my next video, which we will be going back to my regular Gemcraft series, and I think probably when these 3 go up, I don't know if I'm going to put them up right away, or if I'm going to put up like once a day, one with episode 20, one with episode 21, one up with episode 22. But just know I got 30 episodes of my Gemcraft Frostborn Wrath walkthrough recorded, 30 episodes. All 30 of them have my old mic, so it's not as crisp, not as clear, and there's that little click sound, which is why I bought a brand new mic. I'm glad that's completely gone, and my next episode, episode 31 that I record, will not have that click noise. So thank you for being patient, and I hope you enjoy this series and my walkthrough series, and I will see you next time.